Have you ever stopped to think that everything in existence, from the largest galaxies to the tiniest thought, only became possible thanks to absolute chaos? Sounds absurd, doesn't it? But what if I told you that contrary to what we've always been told, chaos didn't represent destruction, mess, or an ending, but rather origin, creative power, and an invisible order? While many search for answers in certainty and control, ancient mythologies whisper a surprising secret to us. The universe wasn't born from light, perfection, or harmony, but from the unknown, the unpredictable, total uncertainty. And most people go through their entire lives without even imagining that behind everything we are, there's a primordial mystery that defies logic, beliefs, and even science itself. The best part: when we understand how chaos molded everything that exists, we can see our crises, doubts, and turbulent periods in a new light, discovering the potential that exists where we once only saw problems. Ready to challenge everything you thought about the beginning of existence? Get ready. This deep dive is about to turn your world upside down. Imagine starting a story with absolute emptiness. It's not every day you hear about such a radical origin, right? Chaos wasn't simply a deity with a defined face or form. It was, in fact, a state of pure absence, a void where everything was just possibility. Like that first breath before waking up or the silence before a thunderclap, chaos represented something beyond what we can truly touch or name: the primordial void. Now, if you think of origin as a seed, chaos would be the fertile, dark soil itself, waiting for something to grow there. Isn't it fascinating to imagine that the first creation, according to Greek mythology, was born from this nothingness? By the way, chaos is one of those concepts that challenges our minds. Instead of being the villain or the hero, it's the space where everything begins, the clean stage before the play's act. And there's more. Have you ever considered how moments of void and silence in our lives can be the true triggers for the creation of ideas, projects, or even changes? That forced pause, or that feeling of being lost, could in reality be your own personal chaos, ready to transform into the origin of something innovative. But there's still a lot of ground to cover on this journey into the unknown. If you've ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, how did all this begin? Believe me, the ancient Greeks also pondered this. For them, the universe was born from chaos. But hold on, not the chaos of a messy desk or a room during moving day. Chaos, according to Greek mythology, was a bottomless vastness, a kind of primal, undifferentiated, and silent abyss. It was the non-place from which everything departed. Get this. After chaos, the first great forces and entities began to appear: Gaia, the earth; Tartarus, the underworld; Eros, love or the creative force; as well as Nyx, night; and Erebus, darkness. All of this spontaneously, blossoming without any prior point of reference. There was no organized world, law, or structure, only raw, open possibility. From this completely barrier-free base, the layers of the cosmos began to stack one by one. It's interesting to note how, in this context, chaos isn't treated as something negative, but rather necessary for everything that came afterward. After all, without this primordial abyss, there's no space for the earth, light, the gods, and all cosmic order to emerge. Get this insight. Even love, Eros, only appears because there was a free space: chaos. You can't build anything on what's already full, the Greeks might say, and that's why chaos is the beginning, the chance for everything to flourish. In fact, many ancient philosophers were inspired by this mythology to discuss the very nature of the universe, questioning whether creation requires disorder before order. Think about this in real life. How many times does the greatest transformation not come after a feeling of total disorientation? There's a lot of myth in that too. Finally, it's worth noting that as other gods and elements of the universe emerged, chaos became more of a backdrop but it was never forgotten as the first actor on the cosmic stage. Who would have thought that from what we fear most, the void, uncertainty, the possibility of everything that exists is born? After the formless immensity that was chaos, Greek mythology begins to take shape, literally. From that first fertile void, fundamental entities emerge that will give structure to the universe and define what we know as reality. The interesting thing is that each of these entities fulfills an essential function, reflecting central aspects of the cosmos and human existence. First, we have Gaia, the Earth. She is not just the soil beneath our feet. Gaia is the planet itself, fertile and capable of generating life. From her strength spring mountains, seas, plants, and in time, a vast lineage of gods and creatures. Gaia represents solidity and nurturing, that which gives form and sustenance to everything that is born. Then comes Tartarus, which can be understood as the abyss, the underworld. But Tartarus isn't simply the Greek hell, it's a primordial force as ancient and powerful as the earth itself. It symbolizes limits, the unknown depths, that which separates the world of the living from inscrutable spaces. Almost a reminder that there's much beyond what can be seen. Next emerges Eros, perhaps the most enigmatic of the first beings. Eros represents the creative impulse, the attraction and unifying energy that moves the entire universe. Before being the cute god of love from statues, Eros is seen as that essential force that causes different elements to combine to generate novelty. Love, desire, magnetism. Without Eros, everything would remain dispersed and static. Completing this initial cast are Nyx, the personification of night, and Erebus, the deep darkness. Nyx brings mystery, renewal, the calm of dusk, besides being the mother of many other personifications of the universe, such as sleep and death. Erebus, brother and consort of Nyx, represents those unexplored regions, the backdrop where anything can happen, but where nothing has happened yet. What unites these entities? The fact that they all sprouted spontaneously from chaos, without mediation or intervention, like successive waves of possibilities. Each acts as a foundation: earth, underworld, love, night, and darkness, laying the groundwork for the infinite stories, gods, and humans that would follow. To conclude, think. Without these entities, there would be no setting, no energy, not even time for the mythological drama to unfold. It is from them that the initial chaos transforms little by little into diversity, order, and existence as we know it. And so Greek mythology begins to occupy the stage with unparalleled characters and stories. Now that you understand how chaos was the spark that started everything, have you considered how much more this saga has to reveal? This is just the beginning. In the upcoming episodes, we'll uncover how, from this primordial maelstrom, the first forces, gods, and myths that shaped the universe were born. And who knows, perhaps even your own way of seeing the world. Stay tuned because the story is just heating up. If you want to follow every chapter of this transformative journey until its grand finale, be sure to stick with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll ensure you don't miss any detail of this fascinating saga.